start. It seems to me that there are three principal ways in which we can learn to do things or to understand things: looking, reading, or hearing. Stop. We can watch things done by other people and copy their movements and actions. Stop. This is the way in which we learn when we are very young. Stop. Babies and all young animals, of course, are very quick to copy the acts of their mothers, and in this way they learn a very great amount in a remarkably short time. Stop. We continue throughout our lives to learn in this way, for we are always seeing others do certain things in certain ways and then making some attempt to carry out like acts ourselves. Stop. When we grow up, however, we are able to make observations within much wider limits, and we are free to learn great numbers of things simply by watching. Stop. Not only can we see the life going on round about us, but we have also brought right into the home the moving picture and the TV set. Stop. There is perhaps no more interesting and successful method of learning about other countries than to watch moving pictures that have been taken in those places. Stop. Most of us find it much easier to remember what we have seen than to remember what we have read in a book or have been told. Stop. Even a very good writer telling us of scenes and doings in far off lands cannot bring to our minds so clear a picture of those countries as can a quite short moving picture. Stop. That is why many schools use both TV and the moving picture in the course of instruction in subjects as different from one another as history and science. Stop. In such subjects, mere reading is not enough to give a complete picture of the material under consideration. Stop. Passage. We can then use our eyes when we want to learn, using our powers of seeing and of observation. Stop. We must also, however, use our powers of hearing. Stop. To most of us, this is a difficult way of learning, and we have often to work quite hard to master the art of learning through hearing. Stop. An exception is, of course, the subject of languages, for clearly there is no better way to learn a language than to hear other people speaking it. Stop. Mere book knowledge of a language is a poor thing, for a language does not really live until it is used. Stop. When, however, we are dealing with ideas, learning through hearing becomes more difficult. Stop. We have to learn first to pay attention. Stop. How often does a teacher say, pay attention please, stop, and how necessary are the words stop. If no notes are being taken, the words once said have gone forever, stop. If they live at all, it must be in the memories of those who have heard the words stop. When we first go to school, we think we are learning to write and to read and to do little sums, but in fact, we are also learning something of even more importance. We are learning to pay attention to hear what the teacher says and to hold it in our memories store. The person who is able to pay attention is a much better learner than the person whose mind is always going off into other fields of thought, even though the two people may have equally good minds in other respects. So, many people who attend public meetings find that their attention is not always given to the person speaking, and it is indeed a good man or woman who can hold our complete attention for half an hour of more stove. It is probably true that most people learn most things most easily through reading stove. They can read the material they wish to learn and can read it again many times if they so desire. Stove. They can memorize the written word with a reasonable degree of each and can usually master a far larger amount of material in this way in a given time than would be possible by any other method. So, seeing, reading, and hearing all play their part in our complete development as we grow into men and women. Stop over.